Hello, it's the Cryo Lady. So yes, still wearing sea salt clothes. In fact, that's the only clothes I actually wear, really. Get people moaning about them being expensive. I mean, I don't know, sort of, I don't think they're that expensive. Not expensive as a lot of places. So I'm going to get into blemish repair, but actually, recently, okay, you know, there's some sea salt stuff that I like, but then there's other stuff that I find quite not at all likeable. But anyway, this is better. So blemish repair, of course, I usually start with that. So anyway, I've had quite an eventful weekend. So I went off to Brixham on Saturday, drove all the way around there. Had a good look about, so that was cool. and Snoops went off to the Nintendo Switch 2 reveal at the Excel Centre because won some tickets to that and took a bunch of friends there too. Anyway, so they're actually headed back now because they stopped at their elder brother's place who lives in Hampshire. Banksy went off to the New Forest because she lives in Hampshire too, so she spent the day there. Anyway, now, do you watch Celebrity Big Brother? Do you watch reality TV? And if you do, which programs do you watch? Because if you leave it in the comments, then I'll check it out. I'll check out some reality TV and tell you what I think of it. So Celebrity Big Brother, that's been going for, I think, this is the 26th season of it. And I guess the person in there that's been causing the biggest stink, if you like, is Mickey Rourke, 72-year-old much operated on actor. So first of all, he made homophobic slurs against JoJo Siwa, who is an American personality. She rose to fame through Dance Moms, not as a dance mom, but as one of the kids. And then there's Donna Preston, who he made shaming remarks about, which is a bit, that's kind of quite ironic, really, given what he's done to himself. And he made quite shaming remarks towards her, but unfortunately for him, and he was ogling AJ Adudu, who is a British TV personality. She's a presenter and all of that kind of stuff. Also, he's now been thrown out of Celebrity Big Brother because of, I think it's offensive comments, possibly, maybe threats, I don't know, because we won't actually see that programme's not airing until later on this evening. And Chris Hughes, I think he's 27, so he again he's a personality. He I think the fame that he's garnered has been primarily from I think it was the third series of Love Island. Now, if you don't know, Love Island is again, it's another inverted commas reality TV show where, I don't know, an equal number of young men and young women are isolated from the world in a villa in a nice hot place somewhere, and they tend to sort of pair up with each other, but then couple by couple or one by one they get voted off. So anyway, he found fame with that, and I think possibly it was with I think he won the series. I think he won it with someone called Olivia. Once they left Love Island, they kind of did what a lot of the couples do that win Love Island, is they have a sort of reality TV show. I think it was Chris and Olivia crack on. So I don't believe that they're together any longer. But anyway, Mickey Rourke, yes. And in other breaking news from the USA, it would seem that, well, it wouldn't seem this has actually happened, although, interestingly enough, there has been no official announcement about this, and I'm not surprised because this is a classic case of backtracking with your tail between your legs. Donald Trump has dropped the import tariff on smartphones. Now, that will be primarily aimed at iPhones, because where are iPhones made? They're made in China. And Donald Trump was trying to put an 124% tariff on iPhones, smartphones, and computers, laptops, whatever, devices from China. That's all been dropped. So anywhere, and in fact, not only that, he's also dropped the global 10% tariff that he had imposed upon those items. So talk about backtrack. But, in the meantime, whilst we got there, whilst he decided to drop all of that absolute nonsense, because he realised how it was going to hurt the American economy. If you put 124% tariff on, let's say, iPhones coming into the country, like the most popular phone, then, well, unfortunately, that cost cannot be swallowed by the retailer. That has to be passed on because, we live in a global economy, a capitalist economy, so they want to make as much money as they possibly can. And so the only way to do that is to raise the cost of already fairly pricey iPhones. Now, I have an iPhone. It's not the latest one because I don't really care. As long as it does what I want it to do, that's fine. But, I've gotten used to it now. Anyway, what kind of phone do you have? Do you have an iPhone? If, let's say, the price was increased on iPhones by, I don't know, you could be looking at a couple of £100 maybe in the UK, and you could be looking at, let's say in America, if Trump had continued with that course, you'd be looking at hundreds of dollars on just an iPhone. What would you think? Because let's be honest with you, are there any phones that are actually manufactured in the USA? I don't think so. And I think this is what Trump wanted to do, really. He wanted to try and make it so that the USA manufactured its own phones. That's what he's trying to do. Will that work? I don't know. It seems to have been fairly disastrous because I think there's been trillions and trillions of dollars lost, and pounds, and in any currency lost off the stock markets and US bonds and all this kind of stuff. Anyway, who's that weird piece of work they got as a spokeswoman for the White House? Can't remember what her name is. She's weird. Is she as weird as the last one they had? Can't remember her name either because she's sunk into obscurity as well now. Just like your sort of standard aggressive, ridiculous spokesperson. I don't know. Anyway, I'm finished there. Goodbye.